Warning, listening to this podcast could result in spending or saving large amounts of money. Listener discretion advised.
Strap in for a wildly unqualified adventure with two overly opinionated collectors, armed with good intentions and questionable expertise, as they stumble through a galaxy of toys and collectibles, pretending to know it all, where every figure has a story and every opinion is a showdown. Welcome to Across the Toyverse.
Last time on Across the Toyverse, armed with the Sword of Omens, Mark, using Sight Beyond Sight, collected the final Infinity Stone, completing the Infinity Gauntlet. There are no rules! Much to Scott's dismay. Nani? Will Mark manage to snap his fingers and make half the toys in the Toyverse disappear? Or will Scott use the Go-Go Gadget Buzzsaw to thwart Mark's plan by cutting off his head? What? Next time on Across the Toyverse.
Love it. It's perfect. It went great.
All right.
I love it.
That was fun.
Oh man, these intros are getting elaborate. I love it.
Are they?
Yeah, I love it.
Is that a good thing?
No, it's a great thing. I absolutely love it. It's such a fun way to like start the show.
I think so.
Yeah, it's great. How you doing today, man?
Exceptionally well. We just had some good political news, which you guys will already know about by the time you hear this. But today is
the old news, man.
It'll be old news. Yeah, today is Wednesday, November 5th. So I'm sure the history books will speak very favorably of Tuesday, November 4th, 2025.
Yeah, man.
It's a decent enough day to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, whatever reason you find to be happy today. Yeah, I'm feeling better. Last night I wasn't feeling so good. I was getting ready to go on a trip, which I'm sure we'll end up talking about later. It's a big toy-related trip, and I was starting to feel a little bad. Last night I started having a little sore throat, so I was hitting everybody up for some remedies. Everybody was like, whiskey. And I was like, yeah, that'll work. That'll do it. That ought to kill everything.
Whiskey kills everything.
Yeah, I don't have any whiskey, but I do have some apple pie flavored moonshine.
Okay.
From the Tennessee Moonshine Company.
Okay.
That we got last year.
All right.
We're not big drinkers in this house.
Yeah.
We don't typically keep alcohol in the house pretty much ever. We're lames. But anyway, man, you guys are I guess really again, shout out to Jeff for getting all of our episodes up on all the different platforms. We've had a really good response to that. It seems like we are getting some listens from some new viewers and these other from these other platforms, which is really cool. So I hope that's working out for you guys. Or if you're always whatever platform you're listening on, we hope you're enjoying what you're hearing. We always have fun. Look, I mean, we decided early on like we were going to do this podcast for us to give us opportunity to get together, sit, talk, share toys. And if the people come, the people come.
Yeah. It's for me, it's more about the conversation, because I don't really get out and get together with folks that much. And so whenever we get to sit down and record, I'm like, all right, I'm socializing today.
Yeah.
And it's a big,
look at us being adults.
Yeah.
as much as we probably don't want to. But we've got some toys kind of sprawled out in front of us. We're actually comparing some of the Marvel Legends Captain Americas that we're actually using this week for our versus pose off. You're using the newly released Captain America from the Gamerverse 2-pack with Venom.
Yep.
I'm using the not so old but still a really good release of the Captain America from the Secret Wars line. And man, I am really loving that Gamerverse cap. I may have to track that down.
Yeah, for me, it's all about that silhouette. He's got the best looking Captain America silhouette and those deep butterfly joints, man. He has got the best butterfly joints I've seen personally from a Marvel Legends. So I'm digging him. We'll talk value a little bit later, but in terms of like, you want a good looking cap on your shelf,
it's hard to beat.
That's the one for me.
He does have the larger, broader chest and shoulders which looks really good. I mean, not like the Liefeld, cap chest.
We don't need a refrigerator on his chest.
Do you think the Marvel Legends would ever make that figure and it would be that massive chest and then have no feet on the figure at all?
Right. I don't see Marvel Legends doing that, but some third party, fourth party, maybe even fifth party creator ought to do that.
Well, Liefeld has he's making his own line of action figures now from like what was the
Wildstorm?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he did two. He did blood. What was that? Wolf Blood.
Oh yeah.
And another one I can't remember.
He did Bloodbane and Stab Wolf, and I think there's also Bleeding Throb.
But he's doing a bunch of maybe one day that'll be his San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Will be that barrel-chested cap with no feet. I just stand.
Shoot Monster.
Monster.
Knife God. I don't know. He's got
a lot. But yeah, so let's see here. Intro. We've done the intro.
We did it. One more in the can.
There we go. One more intro in the can. What episode? This is episode 9, I believe. This is episode 9.
Is it?
Yeah. One more and we'll hit our 10th episode.
I trusted you implicitly because I don't do numbers.
That's right. So let's take a quick break. Let everybody run to the restroom and grab something to drink. And then when we get back, we're going to discuss our pickups.
All right.
Over the past year, Articulated Empire has become your trusted online retailer. They carry all the latest lines like Mythic Legions, Valaverse, AWOC, Zesray Studios, and much, much more. They ship your items quickly and securely. You'll be quite happy with how Steve and his team follow through with their care and attention. Articulated Empire also offers free shipping over $75 and no tax except for Illinois residents. So head over to articulatedempire.com today and build your empire.
All right, welcome back. So pickups. Why don't you kick us off, man? What are some pickups you've gotten lately you want to talk about?
All right, I brought a few. I'm gonna go over most of them briefly, and then I'll save the best for last. Yes, I got the Gamerverse Cap versus Venom. It's at Walmart. It's $65 here. So after tax, it's $70, which is a pill to swallow for a couple of Marvel Legends, in my opinion. Especially since I'm not interested in that Venom personally. I got him. I'm going to sell him to a buddy of mine who just wanted the Venom, and I just wanted the Cap. As a figure, not bad. Particularly good in some ways. Like I think we mentioned the broad chest and shoulders look. He's just got that. He's got a classic, like a very 90s, kind of early 2000s looking Cap. He looks great. I like the blue. A little bit of outdated torso articulation, and I wish he came with some open action hands. Maybe not necessarily even shield throwing, but just some open palms. He's got 2 fists and then 2 thumbs up because it's the Gamerverse. So you want him to be able to pose them left or right with the thumbs up. Anyway, he's fine. When you break down the price, though, after tax, they're $35 a piece. He is not a $35 figure. I wish I could have just picked him up on the shelf for $25, like regular Marvel Legends. I also brought my other stuff. Yeah, I also brought Kite Man. I picked up Kite Man because my wife and I are enjoying the Harley Quinn animated series, and Kite Man is kind of a big part of that, and he's hilarious. And so the McFarlane DC Multiverse gold label Kite Man is $35, and I'd say it is a good $25 figure. It is not a $35
This is
figure.
a great $10 clearance figure.
Yeah. I don't have, for 25 I wouldn't even complain about it. For 35, gonna complain. The way his backpack fits on is loosely, which is by design. And again, $25, no problem. 35, get out of my house. Plus, I'm pretty sure the gold label are supposed to come with like some kind of fancy stand to hold the card if you want to pose the card next to the figure, which I will note nobody does.
Yeah, that's more of the sorry, I didn't mean to like jump all over you.
Go ahead, jump all over it.
No, I think that's more of whatever they call it, like the collector's edition version of those figures.
Oh my
Gold label just means that it's like an exclusive character to like that. I think that particular store. Red label means it's like a deep cut character, and then silver label, I forgot what that means. I don't. Maybe that's a McFarlane store only. But yeah, it's part of because he's not a regular figure. He's not like your standard Marvel Legends. McFarlane. He is their collector's edition. He's the wider package. It's supposed to come with that big, nice stand to hold the card. Yeah, it's part of their larger, more collector focused line. And yeah, he's anything but.
I just kind of expected it to be a little better. I don't care. McFarlane can keep those cards in the stands, and
I don't need them either.
nobody wants those. It's a hassle to give me something to have to keep up with because I'm a collector. I like to have all the things. I'm not going to throw the card away. I'm just going to be mad about having to hold on to it. You know what I mean?
Right. But you kind of feel like you have to in case you ever want to get rid of it.
I want to sell
on eBay, and then somebody's like, "Where's the card?"
Right.
Oh, I threw that crap away.
Right. I'm gonna be so mad at myself for not keeping it when I try and sell it, and it could have got me 50 cents more on eBay.
Right.
Like I said, 2 heads, man. If he had come with 1 other head, I probably wouldn't even be complaining again because he's got like just a kind of a meh face. And what's the point of giving him all this articulation when he's going to look bored as hell in any kind of action pose you put him in? So give me an action head, give me a, normal, like standing vanilla head, and then give me an action head.
Well, even like I kind of remember like I don't remember if she was actually the very first collector's edition figure, but I got the Huntress, which I think was either the first or one of the first.
She came with faceplates.
She had faceplates,
Yeah,
like 3 different faceplates you could swap, and it give her the different angry, yelling, screaming head. She had like a wired cape.
Yeah.
She came with all that stuff, and I thought, well, if this is what McFarlane has given us,
Right.
this collector's edition, I'm down for it.
Yeah.
But it seems to be like we're going to pick and choose each release what we do.
Yeah.
Maybe you get a stand in this one, maybe you don't.
To slap gold label on this figure is insane. That's ridiculous.
Why do you think they did that? Just solely because of the size of the kite on his back?
Right. Yeah. This solid piece of cheap feeling plastic that plugs into his back. That's the extra $10 right there, I guess. I don't know, man. It's insane. I mean, I didn't need this guy. I just kind of wanted him because I thought it'd be fun to put a silly character like him through, the fun poses and everything,
Right.
which you can see on both my Instagram and TikTok, plastic_jokes. But otherwise, it's just it's a $25 figure all day, man. It's 35 is insane. But the pickup I'm excited to talk about is the Mezco 112th series Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool. He is a great figure. They gave him butterfly joints. Don't know why. They don't do anything. But somebody in a Mezco group on Facebook posted pictures of the stripped down Deadpool, and he's got butterfly joints. They don't really get you anywhere, but they are there. He doesn't have a whole lot of accessories. He's got a few blast effects. He's got plenty of hands, lots of hands. That's nice. He's got the I Love Me coffee mug that he stole from the dude. He's got his knife. He's got interchangeable eyes, which I was upset about at first because I forgot that they are magnets. So you don't have to pry them out with a piece of plastic like SHF makes us do, and it goes flying across the room and you never see it.
Right.
These are magnets, so you can just sort of push them out with your thumb and hold it right there in your hand, and it doesn't go anywhere. And that's nice. Mine did have an issue where the magnet in the left eye came out. I glued it back in, but I couldn't push it all the way down when I glued it back in, so now it sticks out just a little bit.
Dude, I can't even tell on that.
I'm not even sure it's worth fixing, but his articulation is great. The suit is amazing.
Yeah, that suit is incredible. How far have they come
I know.
from the very first wave of 112 collective figures when the suits were like rubber and bulky and ill-fitting?
They were baggy, and like we both have said, but like you were saying, they look like Migos.
Yeah, just ill-fitting clothes. That's why I was so like against them in the very beginning. I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, these don't look good.
And I think a lot of people kind of wrote them off and then never came back because of that.
Yeah.
Because even now, a lot of their heads are still just a little big, and I don't know why they do that. This guy it doesn't come off that way. He looks to scale. He looks like a miniature Hot Toys, in my opinion. Like the detail on him is great. The one thing though that's really, really, really weird, and I haven't seen a lot of people point out, is that the suit is dark red like in the first two Deadpool movies, but it is the Deadpool and Wolverine suit. It's got the different design. The knife is on the other leg for one thing, I think. Anyway, it's got the
Baby knife.
yeah, baby knife. It comes with the baby knife hands. It's the new suit design, but it's dark red. It's like that deep, like red wine red. And I don't know. I mean, I guess that's fine because that way he could kind of be whichever version you want him to be. I don't really care. I just if it's labeled Deadpool Wolverine movie Deadpool figure, then it should be that color. And he's just very dark instead of very bright. But he does come with Dogpool. And she is a very nice little statue. She has no articulation, but
She's great.
she's very nice. I've seen people who have had like an issue with the scabbard breaking off the back, and they're saying that there should have been either plugs that can like be unplugged and not glued in, or magnets. Use magnets. We love magnets.
Magnets.
You used magnets in the eyes. Why not use them?
So they are hard plastic plugs that have plugged in. Were they glued in?
And they're glued in. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you twist and put too much pressure, they're going to snap.
So you kind of have to be careful. It is 2 plugs though.
Right.
It's not just one. But yeah, I saw somebody complain that like theirs broke. Like maybe the figure fell and it just hit just right and they broke off. So now they have to glue it back on, which I don't think is too big an issue, but you're paying $100 for a figure, you shouldn't have to do that.
Now, that was going to be one of my questions did you get this at that sub $100 price, or was
This guy,
after their price increase?
no, this guy was 100.
Okay.
I think Wolverine is 116, I think, or maybe 110 or something.
Yeah.
But this guy was $100. And he, again, for a Mezco release, he comes with enough stuff. He doesn't come with a ton of stuff, but I'm happy with the things he comes with.
Yeah.
He's got
I'm kind of wishing, I don't have him. He's not mine, but I'd kind of wish like maybe like an unmasked Ryan Reynolds head would have been really cool.
Sure would have.
That would have been nice. I don't know if I would have rather had that or Dogpool. I kind of figured they both probably come at the same cost
I don't
for
need.
production.
I've rounded a corner, Mark. I don't need an unmasked head, honestly. If it comes with one, great. It's never going to be on my shelf that way. I spent. Remember when?
Yeah, we had this conversation over the Spider-Man figure.
Yeah. Marvel Legends released the Spider-Punk from the Across the Spider-Verse, and I spent $40 on an aftermarket, like third-party creator unmasked Spider-Punk head, and it looks awesome. I love it, but he doesn't sit on my shelf that way because I want the Spider-Punk head. I want the spider thing with the spikes, and so I spent all this money on this head, and I'm just like, I put him up on my shelf, and I go.
See, he's the only Spider-Man that I can understand the argument for having the unmasked head, only because he's so different.
So you
all of the dreadlocks. Like I kind of prefer that look. I have the Marvel Legends version, but I have you remember when they put out the purple version of that and who came with the unmasked head? I have that head on the first colored version. And that's how he stays on my shelf because I like the dreads. I like that look.
He is an exception.
But when it comes to like Toby or Andrew or Tom, I have them always masked. I'm never gonna, except for like the black suit emo Toby. Like that's the only one I feel like.
Yeah, you do kind of want the emo hair.
That emo hair is kind of worth having on the shelf.
For photography, some people like to tell a story with the photography. I do sometimes. And so sometimes it's fun to use an unmasked head. I'm just saying I don't need it. If it didn't come with it, I'm not gonna complain.
And I think maybe more people would probably prefer to have the Deadpool with the mask pulled up with his mouth exposed. 'Cause that's more of a common thing for us.
Yeah, from the comics,
Right.
you like that look. You like when he pulls the mask up just over his nose or just under the nose or something. So and see that he's like smiling or whatever.
Eating a chimichanga.
Chimichangas. So anyway, this is of the stuff I got. I'm really happy with this cap. He's gonna look great standing in a vanilla pose on my shelf. But this Deadpool is just next level, man. He is
So I can
pretty great.
I can concur. That is a pretty dang fantastic.
But that's
Deadpool.
that's their butterfly joint,
Right.
because it's the hardware
Yeah.
thing. So yeah.
And I bet you that thing's impossible to get now, right? Like, has he become like the darling of the internet as like
No.
definitive
Nope.
Deadpool?
You can still get them. As a matter of fact, I have a second one I'm trying to sell right now, and I'm having a little trouble getting just the money back out of it that I put into it, because so many other people, I think, did the same thing where they bought two to sell one. And I just checked eBay a few days ago, and you can get him for like, I don't know, people are losing money on them, so I don't know. Still pick them up for like $110 or so.
All right, well, I tell you what, let's talk after Legion's Con. If I come back with an extra 100, I may take it off your hands, because just touching it,
have it.
playing around with it, it's a lot better than I expected. And it looks pretty fantastic. And I don't have like a very movie accurate Deadpool outside of the Marvel Legends one.
And look at that, scale wise, he's not even like.
Oh, he fits in perfectly with
Look,
Marvel Legends.
He fits in right. We're standing him next to the new Marvel Legends Born Again Daredevil,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's barely any bigger. He fits right in. So he's a great addition, and I recommend this figure if you're a Deadpool fan, and you got the coin to spare on one. He's worth it. He's a good pickup.
Well, I have a couple of pickups on the table. Just I do happen to have the Daredevil Born Again TV series Marvel Legends version of both Daredevil and Punisher. Punisher sporting a custom head that I
Looks fantastic, by the way.
oh, thank you, man. I picked up off eBay, and then I painted myself and kind of roughed it up a little bit. It's kind of clear to me that Frank's not losing the beard. Like he had the beard in the Born Again Daredevil series. He has the beard in all of the shots of them filming the what Disney's calling the Punisher special. He's not getting a full season of a show by himself, but they're filming something that's going up on Disney Plus, and it's called the Punisher special. It's just like a special. Maybe it's going to be like a 90-minute show. I don't know. Like I think it's going to run like their Halloween. What was that thing called they did at Halloween where it was black and white, and they did a black and white version that had Man-Thing in it.
Oh yeah,
I forgot what that was called.
the
But
Marvel something, was it Showcase or something maybe?
yeah, something like that. They're doing something
Oh, okay.
where they've already filmed the Punisher special, whatever it's going to be. He has the beard throughout that. He has the beard in all the behind the scenes stuff from when he's in the new Spider-Man movie, because he is in the new Spider-Man movie. He has the beard. So it looks like Frank's going to keep the beard for a while. So I thought, well, if I'm going to get a new head, why don't I'll just go ahead and get the bearded one.
Yeah.
And that gun that he has, that's an extra that I had from Valaverse.
I figured.
Yeah, that's not the Marvel Legends gun by any means.
I tested the barrel just briefly.
Nope. Nah, yeah,
It's not bending.
no, that's not. It's not curved to one side. He shoots around corners. I am happy that I finally did get the Daredevil from that show in, because I've been waiting on it for like months to like finally come in. Everybody seems to have already gotten theirs, and then I finally saw it in our local Walmart and was like, dang, I want to pick this up, but it had already shipped, and so I was just waiting for it to get here, and it finally did, and he looks great.
He does.
Also, I happen to have, completely weirdly enough, I happen to have the Super 7 Godzilla -1 Ultimates figure out, because I caught it on a daily deal from Big Bad Toy Store. They had it marked down to like $50, and I picked it up because I've always wanted it. Godzilla -1 has got to be my all-time favorite Godzilla film.
Fantastic.
I love that particular design of him. I call it the Chun-Li of Godzilla, because he's got the big hips. And he's shaped like he's pear-shaped. He's got them apple-bottom jeans on. That's what I'm trying to say.
You too.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, exactly. He looks great, and I finally got him in, and I'm having a lot of fun with him. He's kind of, he's posable, but I'm not. I'm gonna get him in one position and leave him there. It's not like the Hiya Toys one that you have coming where people are like posing the crap out of that thing. And you're just like, how is this Godzilla figure so posable?
Yeah.
Like way more posable than any Godzilla figure needs to be. But I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it because I got it for $50. Like, I would not be happy with that if I paid $90, which is why I've not bought it. Like, that's the reason why I haven't bought it, because to me, it's too much. No matter how much I want it on my shelf, and no matter how much I love that movie, that's too much for what little you're getting.
I think it's a $50 figure. The sculpt alone is beautiful, and the dry brushing paint that they put on him give it kind of like that old gold look, that tarnished gold look. Yeah, it looks great. Like, he looks like from the movie. Like you said, could be a little more gray to kind of bring it out a little bit more. But
we were talking before we recorded. I said I might throw a dry brush on him, like, because in the movie he appears to be a little more grayish in color. But maybe that's because I'm just how I remember the color grading from the film, and then he's mostly in the water, and and then I'm sure this is a more accurate, color representation. But also something we were joking about is the fact that he comes with two heads, one with the mouth open and one with the mouth closed. They didn't want to articulate the jaw for $90. They're like, it's too far. We'll just get two different heads.
Well, it's only $90. What do you want?
But you know what? I'm not going to complain, because they could have just not even given us a second head. They could have just said, here it is. Like, you're getting it in this position, either open or closed. And I like to have at least that option, considering that there's no other accessories, no atomic blast, no nothing. And I believe they've made this figure 3 times now. There was the second release was called Godzilla minus color, and it was a black and white version. And then I think they've even done one since then that is a powered up version where his spines are like a glowy blue color. I believe I've seen that. If I'm thinking of a different release, then somebody correct me. But yeah, I think that's. But yeah, that's some kind of weird pickups. And you know what's funny? It actually arrived on Monday, which was Godzilla Day.
Yeah.
Because if you think about how long this figure has been around, and I could have purchased it,
Right.
and then I just happened to purchase it on a day when it was on sale, and it just happened to ship like 6 or 7 days later, take 3 or 4 days to arrive. It arrived on Godzilla Day,
November 3rd.
which is just insane to me.
That is insane.
That the coincidence there is not lost on me. And then I took this beautiful picture of it, and I was getting ready to post it, and I just never did. I forgot, so I ended up posting it yesterday. So I was a day late posting my Godzilla. And I wanted to watch Godzilla -1 again, but I literally just watched it like 2 weekends ago. But yeah, I have the 4K Blu-ray release, which has both the color and the black and white version. So I haven't watched the black and white version yet, but I think I will. I think I'll sit down.
Yeah, I haven't either. But I'm glad it exists. I'm glad it's out. But yeah, I haven't gotten around to watching it in black and white. But just to briefly discuss one of my 2 favorite things, Godzilla. Going to see this movie in theater. I have cried in Godzilla movies before, but not like with this movie. This movie was so good. The drama was just so good. Storytelling, the characters, everything was just done so well that both my wife and I both cried multiple times in this movie. And like, there's a couple of other emotional Godzilla movies out there, I want to say Shin Godzilla. I might have cried at the end of that just because it was just so well done, and it's so nice to see something you love taken so seriously,
Right.
something that could be and often is just made fun of for being silly, campy, whatever. When you see somebody really put the effort in to make something, to bring it to life and make it real and make it, it just does something to you, something you've loved your whole life. And so Godzilla -1 is just, okay, just that's enough. I just wanted to say it is a great movie, and I'm excited they're making a sequel. I didn't need a sequel because I have the one. I have a hard time with sequels because a lot of times they don't live up to the hype of the first one,
Right. Even though it is the exact same writer, director, and visual effects artist, which
It's
if
the
you
best
think about
possible circumstances.
if you think about it, that's a rare combination to find in a singular person. And we don't often see that. I mean, we almost I have never seen that before, where the writer director is also the visual effects person, like the guy who's overseeing all the visual effects, which
Yeah.
he won the Academy Award last year or this year at the Oscars for that movie. Was it this year or last year? For it won best visual effects.
The awards were this year, but it was
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, he's doing the sequel. So I'm very interested to see where we go next. And I'm just really glad to see this version of Godzilla on screen again.
Yeah.
I can't wait. All right. Well, what we'll do is we'll end it right here for our pickup section. And then when we come back, we'll get into our topic of the day, which is what you're doing right now is accessories.
Accessories, yeah.
What must come with a figure for the different price points that we are paying. All right, and we're back. That took a little bit longer, not for you guys through the magic of editing, but for us, it took a little while because the Mezco Hulk dropped during that break, and we decided to take a quick little break to decide whether or not we were going to pick it up. It looks amazing, by the way. It does look like, and it comes with a lot of stuff. Yep. Big brow Hulk. I was not the biggest fan of the head sculpt, but now I see it comes with 3 of the big brow heads, and that's my whole.
That's the Frankenstein look. That's who he was based on.
Yeah.
So he's got the big brow with like the flat, top of the head.
I love that Hulk.
Yeah. And then he's got the more traditional, like
More modern.
60s, 70s, shaggy hair, which is my favorite. So there's a look for Mark and a look for Scott.
Yeah, it comes with all of that. A bunch of extra accessories, a base. That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's 140, which, when that's not bad considering, that a typical figure now runs about 120.
Yeah.
This thing is bigger than their Thing figure.
No, he looks great. And it's a Mezco. I'm sure it's going to be top quality. I'm currently waiting for my phone to load.
Yeah, the websites have. I mean, maybe a lot of people are just really trying to like get in on this Hulk. I don't know. Like, I guess if it sells out by the time I get in line, then I may just have to just wait for it to hit Big Bad Toy Store, which I'm sure it'll hit later today.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get on to accessories.
Accessories. So this was another topic that I was like, hey, what do you want to talk about? And you're like, I want to talk about accessories. And I find it to be a very interesting topic because I feel like every single person who collects action figures probably has in their mind sort of an arbitrary number that they feel like here is a certain number of accessories that should come, or everybody kind of feels like here are certain accessories that I feel like this figure should come with. I think everybody can agree if you make a Spider-Man action figure, you have to have sweatpants, you have to have wall crawly hands.
Right. Yes, that's a good place to, place to start. Yeah.
If nothing else,
right.
Like if you get a Wolverine figure, it has to come with, some hands with the claws out and some hands with the claws in. It's just, it's kind of written into the
optional alcoholism.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, this is a really good topic because sometimes it's the make or break for what we consider to be, a good value or not.
Yeah.
So, this is one of your topics. Why don't you kick us off? It's fine. Throwing it over to you as I yawn.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to start from like bottom up, like looking back at older figures or just cheaper figures from like when you're a kid, you don't need a whole lot. I'm a kid. I just want a Superman. I hope he has fists, or maybe he's got a fist and an open hand so he can hold the bar, the metal, thing that he comes with to, or a sign or, something like that. Like, I don't need a lot because I'm a kid. Thinking about when I was a kid, it was, the superpowers, and they just all had fists for the most part because you squeeze the legs and they punch, and like
they had an action feature. Yeah. I can't remember many of them actually coming with accessories. I mean, Green Lantern did come with his lantern. He could hold. Aquaman came with his staff. I believe that Wonder Woman did come with a little yellow, a golden piece of string. But like Superman didn't come with anything, Batman didn't come with anything, Robin didn't come with anything.
Yeah, and
you know?
and I didn't really need them to because I was a kid, so they were whatever they cost, $5, something like that. Came with nothing, but had an action feature, had a cape. That's cool. But you can kind of like quantum leap from that to now what is considered collector's action figures, Marvel Legends, even though the packaging says whatever, four and up. It's not, they know that they're marketing to us, to adults. They know that their market is 18 to 55-year-olds. And so for the $25, we'll just say $25 price range, I think it depends on the character, but I feel like there just needs to be some sort of standard because Marvel does a lot of characters for their TV shows and stuff, and a lot of characters that don't really do much. And so if I'm buying Martin Freeman's character, for $25, like, what do you mean he doesn't come with anything? What do you mean he comes with like 2 hands? And did he come with a weapon? I don't even know if he did. And so it's a suited figure. It's Martin Freeman's likeness. And he comes with like maybe a second set of hands, maybe a gun. I don't remember, but like I just feel like there's not a lot of value there for just a standard like suited figure. It just sort of seems like there needs to be some sort of, we as collectors should have a list of demands. We need to say,
Right.
give us 3 sets of hands, give us 2 heads, and give us whatever accessories that should go with this guy. And then if it's somebody who, let's get together next Tuesday and vote on this, all collectors. And then if it's like a character like Omega Red or somebody that's, bigger and maybe has like tendrils and stuff like that, then you can get away with maybe some fewer hands or something like that. I don't know. It just feels like I wish there was more of a consistency. And that's something I complained about last week, was just there's toy manufacturers aren't playing by any recognizable rules these days. They just they give you what they give you, and the price is whatever the price is. And
licensing like cuts into this quite a bit.
sure.
And we can't act like it doesn't. There is no clearer example of this than I feel like within Hasbro, because
Yeah.
Hasbro has now recently raised their prices, so we can stop saying these are $24.99 figures. They're now $27.99. That's the new price point that has gone into effect. And they produce Marvel Legends, Star Wars Black Series, and they produce G.I. Joe Classified Series. They're all base figures, all come in at the exact same price point of $27.99. With Star Wars, you're going to get, I'm going to say with Marvel Legends, you're lucky if you get any accessory. A cap is going to come with a shield. Iron Man's probably going to come with some blast effects. Wolverine is going to come with nothing but probably some extra hands. Like you're probably going to get that character's signature weapon if it's like a staff or something like that. But you're lucky if you get an accessory. With Star Wars, you're guaranteed to get either a blaster or a lightsaber, right? It just seems like every single character is going to come with something like that. If it's a droid, you're probably going to get some attachments. But you're lucky if you get one thing, right, to come along with your figure. Whereas with G.I. Joe Classified Series, you're getting a ton of stuff. You're getting extra hands, sometimes an extra head, backpack, webbing gear, holsters, pistols, knives are always going to be included. Their signature weapon and or backpack, if it's, connected, tubes, whatever. And that is the difference of having to pay a license to Disney for Marvel or Star Wars and not having to pay a license for G.I. Joe, because they are the master license holder. So budget per figure does come into it when it comes to whether or not we're going to be getting a ton of accessories or no accessories. And we also see how much Hasbro values their accessories by their Maximum Series line, by the fact that them saying, look how many more accessories we're packing into the Maximum Series, or how McFarlane says, look, this is a collector's edition figure. Look how many more accessories we're giving you. When a lot of times these things are pennies on the dollar to produce. and very little paint and care goes into them.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I think that's a good that's another good argument is we we want to feel like it's as the purchaser, as the intended audience for these things. I want to feel like the people selling me this stuff kind of know what I want and care about making me happy. And there's so many let's see, McFarlane, DC Multiverse, and Star Wars Black Series in particular just seem like you get what you get with all these characters, like with with the Black Series that come with trigger fingers, like you have pointed out, and they're not gun carrying people, and they don't give them like the accessories that make sense to give that character. And so we want to feel like we're getting a good value, and we want to feel like the company selling us the thing knows what it is they're selling us and is paying attention. But selling me a I don't know, pick a Jedi with trigger fingers communicates to me that you don't care. You don't care about me. You don't care about getting this figure right. You don't care that I look at it in the store and I'm frustrated, but I'm buying it anyway because I need that character.
Right.
You don't care. You're indifferent to it. And that makes me love your company less, which I feel like drives me looking for other alternatives online, even though Hasbro has arranged it so they're the only ones in stores available for you to buy.
Yeah, in the US, absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. Because you're guaranteed that if you have an SH Figure Arts or a Mafex version of a character from either Marvel's universe or the Star Wars universe, you're going to get probably 8 to 10 sets of hands in those, because that's like what they do best is they're going to give you hands.
You're paying more money, but you're getting higher quality craftsmanship, and you're getting more value. So if it's just a character you just want for the background, your J. Jonah Jameson type characters, sure, $25 for a Marvel Legends, that's fine. But for me, like, I want a good quality. I want, for my favorite characters, I want the best or close to the best that I'm going to be able to get. I don't want a million Captain Americas on my shelf. I want 1 or 2 different looks maybe. And so I'm willing to pay extra money to get those extra.
Yeah, for a definitive version of a character. It's just not cost effective for like a Marvel or a Star Wars collector to possibly collect every character that you want and it all come from Mafex or SH Figure Arts. You just can't, because their releases are $110, $115, $20 each. You know?
So it's nice when it's one character that really kind of has one definitive look. And what Mafex is doing right now, which I think is brilliant, is they're giving us kind of the definitive comic book version of major characters. And like, dude, I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm sold. I love Mafex already. Yeah, they're $100. I'm just gonna have to buy fewer $25 figures
to make that up. Yeah, exactly.
And that's kind of how I justify it. Yeah, I'd love to have all the Spider-Man villains that Marvel's given us, but I could just not buy the Hallows Eve and and this alternate version of this guy, and not buy the whatever. And then now I can afford the Mafex classic Punisher that they're finally going to give us,
or the Mezco Dr. Octavius. I would love to have that figure. I missed on it.
Dude, the Mezco Doc Ock is great, and that's another case where like I feel like they should have given us more hands. He doesn't have any regular item holding hands, but he does have those incredible octopus arms and the soft goods, and he's got that classic work.
But honestly, if you were Dr. Octavius, would you hold anything with your hands anymore?
I want my figure to be able to, though. Yeah, you're right. You're right. If I was Doc Ock, those arms would be doing everything.
Yeah.
Everything that safely done with.
Right. I mean, there's still probably a couple of things.
There's a few things they ought not do.
But yeah, so basically what you're saying is, I think probably what we're both saying is that it comes down to both price and then like what we're paying, and then like our base expectations for that particular character.
Yeah. I think I got a little bit off on a tangent, but yeah, that's what I was trying to get at is I feel like yeah, there's just there. I just wanted to discuss sort of what do you feel like is a good value, and I would love to hear some feedback because it turns out everybody's got their own opinions, which is annoying. But it feels like everybody kind of wants different things and expects different things. And for me, and for the $25 price point, I want out of Marvel Legends, out of McFarlane DC Multiverse, I personally want 2 heads. I feel like that's not a lot to ask. I want 2 expressions. 3 is amazing. 2 is I feel like bare minimum. I want at least 2 sets of hands. I feel like 3 is a really good value. And then whatever major accessories that guy needs to come with. So in Cap's and speaking about Captain America, it just needs a shield. If you give me an effect also, awesome. That's above and beyond. But you give me 2 heads, 3 sets of hands, and a shield, I'm happy. I'll buy a few different versions of it even. But and speaking of like this kite man, so he needs 2 heads. He's got a boring look on his face. He's got 3 sets of hands. So you're partway there, but you're also asking $10 extra. You didn't give me another head. I just feel like, yeah, why'd you put a gold label on this because you were bored that day? Like, I don't understand what the value is here. And it would be nice to have more consistency.
I kind of feel like there's just certain. I kind of agree with you. Every character should come with 2 heads. If it's like Cap and he wears his mask as much as he doesn't, then give me an unmasked Cap and a regular masked Cap. If it's a Spider-Man, give me a Peter Parker and give me a Spider-Man. But if it's a Batman, I'm probably never going to display him with his mask off. So that way we could go like neutral expression or maybe an angry
That's a
expression.
good point. Yeah.
There's just certain characters I think kind of like need like the extra heads, and that's kind of and then at least 2 sets of hands, whether we're going to go item holding or karate chopping or gesturing or punching. But I don't need every one of my figures to punch, and I don't need every one of my figures to hold like a gun. That's my biggest gripe, of course, with Star Wars.
Yeah.
And then the higher up we pay, the more we expect of our of our accessories. Like you were talking about Kite Man, and we noticed that it doesn't come with the more elaborate card holding stand, that is typically found in the collector's editions or the cinematic editions that he's releasing. And you're like, I don't want it, I don't need it, but I'm mad that it's missing. Like, and I feel that way too. Like I'm the exact same way. Like if I feel like I should be getting a certain amount of value out of what I'm paying.
Yeah.
And when you start skimping on accessories, which are much smaller and much easier to include, even if you're like I don't know how many guns McFarlane has sculpted and have in their like parts library, but for a character that comes with a lot of guns, not giving him a lot of guns is not acceptable. You already have them sculpted. You already have them. The tooling is already done. How much extra does it actually cost you to include that same set? We see this a lot with G.I. Joe Classified series. Like the tool that will be used for one particular gun was molded with one particular pistol, one particular submachine gun, one particular larger machine gun, and one particular knife. That's all in the same tool. So if you see that gun show up again for somebody else, you're also going to see the submachine gun, the pistol, and the knife come with that same character because they used the exact same tool. So the mold is the same and has all those. It's all like on a sprue tree together almost, and they're not, but that's what I mean.
Right.
And so it's like I'm okay with reuse. I would rather have the item, even if it's reuse, than not have the item.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
When it's something like that, absolutely. And it feels like you said, I know these, I can't not know these things about how things are manufactured. So the fact you're not including it just sort of feels like it's always going to nag at me that like this guy gotta have stuff and you're not giving me the stuff, but you have the stuff to give me. And it wouldn't have cost you a ton to just throw it in there.
Have you ever been standing in a store and you are thinking about purchasing a figure and the accessories that it comes with have ever swayed you not to buy a figure, or the accessories that it comes with have swayed you to buy a figure?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Can you think of one in particular where you're like, oh yeah, absolutely, this was the
Yeah, there was one pretty recently that I can't think off the top of my head. There was something very recently that I bought because it had a ton of great accessories, and right now I can't think what it was.
was it
Uh,
like one of the Alf figures? They have such great accessories.
Yeah, but they're too big. They only fit with Alf really.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, I guess maybe to make it a little bit easier, like, let's say, for instance, you went into a store to buy a Captain America or that Daredevil figure right there, right? Would the number of accessories that it comes with, less or more or whatever, would it have swayed you one way or another to buy that figure? That's, I guess, what I'm saying. Like,
Right.
yeah, I know that, like, because you do a lot of action figure photography, you would probably buy a NECA figure that comes with a ton of like Dio accessories just for the accessories.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right? Like, I know that about you, but I'm saying, like, let's say, for instance, you were in a store to buy a figure and you went in to buy it, and like Kite Man, if Kite Man had not come with his kite, you probably wouldn't have bought it.
No,
But
absolutely not.
that's, I guess, what I'm asking. Has there ever been an example where, like, you were in a store and you're like, I would buy this except for the
Yeah.
accessory choices are poor, or, oh, I'm definitely getting this because the accessory choices are
Or I don't really need this guy, but look at all this cool stuff. Yeah, oh, that's what it was. You picked up the Friday the 13th Part 2 Jason Voorhees.
Oh, he comes with great accessories.
He comes with a ton of stuff. I don't need
Yeah.
Baghead Jason, but he comes with the campfire. He comes with lots of tools and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's one that I picked up years ago because of all that stuff, because I wanted that campfire. And I was like, I don't need Baghead Jason, but it's a Jason I don't already have. So at least there's that. And I could potentially use that guy, because if you don't know, in Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason was the villain, whereas his mom was the villain in the first movie. He's the villain in the second movie and beyond, but he didn't have his hockey mask until the third movie. So they made a Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2, and he just wears overalls and he's got a bag on his head. And maybe they looked at that and said, ugh, I don't think anyone's going to buy this figure. We better give him some cool stuff. And so they gave him a whole bunch of weapons as accessory, or, tools as weapons. And then they gave him a campfire. And I was like, dude, I do photography. I could use a campfire. And so I bought that figure for the accessories. I've never once used that figure. I don't even know where it is. I mean, I even still have it. I might have sold him with a collection of other stuff
Right.
a while back. But yeah, so definitely NECA. NECA's usually gives you a ton of cool accessories with this.
So NECA is one of those companies that I really appreciate. Like, I knock on them a lot, and I do, because I think they could always do better. But they're an industry leader, so I expect more out of them. But there's somebody that I always feel like, no matter how elaborate the figure is, no matter if it's got soft goods, whether it's got a ton of sculpting or whether it has a ton of like paint applications, NECA, I always feel like, is going to give you a lot of accessories.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty
something
much
that
always.
they pretty much consistently always give you. Like, you can bet. Now, their prices are creeping up. Their figures are now like $40, $41, $42 pretty consistently across the board. But I still feel like you get a really good value. They're not the most articulated figures, out there, but I think what you get for what you pay for is pretty consistent with NECA.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely one to, I typically, even if I'm not looking for that character, I typically will open that little flap and look and see what he comes with. And I picked up a ghost face for the same reason. The New York one, the special edition, ghost face from Scream, because he came with like a flamethrower and several like knives and stuff.
A
I'm like,
bunch of different mask variants of the
yeah,
masks.
yeah, you can always use that stuff. So like, they're giving you the value in that way. Yeah, the figures aren't as posable as McFarlane and as Marvel Legends and stuff, but they are basically miniature like statues that you can pose if you want, and it has tons of different accessories, and you can pose them with whichever one you want.
I always look at NECA figures, when people say they're not that articulated. I always look at that, and I try to remember that they have the articulation that I wish the McFarlane Movie Maniacs had back when McFarlane Movie Maniacs were a big thing. You know how they were basically stactions, like staction figures, like they didn't actually, the arm would be straight out, but maybe it had a rotation point. Like you might could be able to rotate the hand, but then it would be like, why would you even want to do that?
Yeah.
But you probably could.
I still
right?
have some of those.
And so, like, if you think back to those figures and you're like, man, I wish they had just a modicum of articulation. Well, NECA has that. So, like,
Yeah.
and they're just as good as those, McFarlane, like, movie masterpiece figures as far as sculpt and paint and all that and detail. And I always kind of feel like I always remember that. I always like, well, at least they're more articulated than a movie masterpiece or a Movie Maniacs figure was.
Yeah, for sure. Mezco, for their part, they're all over the place, but their figures these days are I think 116 is kind of their standard, $116. And just a few short years ago, they put out a DC Comics Constantine figure, and I think it was a deluxe, but he came with a ton of stuff, 4 heads, cigarettes that there's a tiny little slit in his mouth that you could poke one into his lips if you wanted or not, and he couldn't tell that it was supposed to go in his mouth if he didn't have it in there.
Right.
I mean,
was it like it was a hole in his mouth?
Yeah, it wasn't a hole. It was just like it was like a very rubbery face, and it's just a little slit, and you can kind of find it with that cigarette and push it in. Just beautiful design work.
You could still find that figure for a pretty decent price.
You can still get them for not too much. And he comes with a ton of accessories. So like that's
also great soft goods too.
Yeah.
Like that really good coat you could probably put on anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And so he's one worth picking up just for that alone, just because he comes with a ton of cool stuff, magic effects, the cigarettes, he comes with one of those lighters. What are they?
Oh yeah, like a Zippo.
It comes with a Zippo lighter with like a huge flame effect coming out of it. I mean, he comes with like lots of cool stuff, a sword, a big cross. And I think, like I said, I think it was a deluxe. It doesn't matter too much though, because then just last year they released, I think it was last year, maybe earlier this year, the mask, from the comics, and they called that a deluxe. And he comes with a fraction of what Constantine came with. He comes with only 3 heads. Granted, they're good, but one is like a standard mask face with the crazy, like one eye really wide and one eye squinty. The other head, the second head, has like a bullet hole in the middle. So as a photographer who likes to tell stories with my figures, I can't really use that head with a lot of stuff
more than once.
Yeah. If I have him fighting Wolverine or Spider-Man, I'm not going to use that head because neither of them is going to shoot him in the forehead.
Right.
And then the other head is the shaking side to side head, which again, I can use a little, I can't use it a ton, because if I'm telling a story with my photography, you can use that once, maybe twice, but otherwise you're sticking it. So it just felt like, and they gave him a few guns, which looked good. And they gave him a couple of bombs and stuff and enough hands, but like they charged extra they charged, I think I don't remember if it was more than 120, maybe it was 140, maybe, but they called it a deluxe. And I was just like, no, it's not. You're lying. That's not a deluxe. Take away some of these accessories and give me a bunch of heads. Like, it's the mask. If you ever read the comics, or if you've seen the Jim Carrey movie, he's all about his facial expressions. That's what I want. And you gave me 3 heads,
2 of which are used.
2 of which, have very limited use. And I'm like, I don't think you thought this one out very well.
It's not really deluxe. This is a standard release.
It was a very standard release. It's a great figure. It's a solid figure. But to put deluxe on it is a lie. Is someone standing in front of me and going, that's extra.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look right next to it. The guy you gave me a couple of years ago, this Constantine, that's extra.
Right.
And they're going, it's the same. And I know that it's not. Anyway, I imagine these conversations. Like, whenever I'm looking at a figure, I imagine the guy, Mr. Mezco, John Mezco. I imagine he's standing there talking to me. This is the same. This is a good value. And I'm just like, it's not. And he's going, it is. Anyway, that's just something I do. What was that show? What was the old HBO show? The guy that grew up watching TV. And then he would have these flashbacks as an adult of like clips from TV from TV shows?
Do not know.
Dang it. Anyway, my brain works a lot like that, where it's like clips from old TV shows are my responses to things. But yeah, so Mezco is kind of all over the place, but typically they're very good with the accessories. They typically give you what you need at the very least. Yes, they're charging more. They are a premium company, but they rarely ever miss. I feel like the mask was a rare miss, where yeah, you got us there. It's a mask figure. It's not a mask figure, but sure could use some extra heads, man.
Right. Mezco, I think we can universally say Mezco and NECA are pretty consistent on delivering the goods when it comes to accessories.
Accessories, yeah. Yes. Hey, yeah, that's a good way to frame this. Yeah. Who does deliver the goods? What lines do deliver the goods? I'd say, yeah, Mezco pretty consistent. And you were saying Hasbro, G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Yes, they definitely do.
Operation Monster Force is another one. They come with so much stuff, it's almost overwhelming.
I got a couple of those in my pile of loot right now on Big Bad that I'm
Mythic Legions are, I would say the Full Horsemen are killing it when it comes to accessories, because yes, they have gone up in price and their figures, but they're also like, what else can we pack in there to make this a better value for you guys? Because we're not just going to go up in price and give you nothing in return. And so they're another company. But again, it's not a lot of stuff that you can reuse in other lines. It's kind of specifically for them, for their lines. But it's still like, if you're paying $50 for a Mythic Legions figure, like what comes in the pack is a lot of stuff. And if they're doing a deluxe release where you can make 3 or 4 different characters out of one, it's ridiculous. Valiverse, I think, is a great value. You can get a sub $20 army builder, and then throw a bunch of accessories and stuff in there. And, even that day you were messing around with just what little I brought to our lunch, you were like, wow, this is almost overwhelming. It's almost too many options here. I think there's some companies out there that are pretty consistent, and then there's others that they're anything but. They're very inconsistent, and that's going to be your Hasbro with your Marvel Legends and Star Wars. Your McFarlane is all over the place with what they're going to give you. But yeah, you're right. This is a conversation. So, everybody in the comments down below, message us on Instagram or wherever you're listening to this, and chime in. Like, what are like the bare necessities when it comes to accessories? What are like the bare minimum that you're willing to accept when it comes to a certain figure, whether that's a certain character, a certain toy line, or at a certain price point? What do you come to expect? And let us know your successes and your failures. Like, when has a toy not come with what you needed and that really pissed you off? Or when was the accessories that came with it really put you over the fence and said, okay, now I'm ready to plop down my 2 bits for this because it comes with enough stuff that it kind of put me over? We'd love to know what you guys think in the comments down below, and maybe we'll revisit this in the future if we get enough feedback and enough interaction on it. But other than that, unless you've got any other thoughts on accessories.
One other thought. I'm also interested in hearing from people. There are people out there who push back against this kind of discussion, and who just say, hey, they give you what they give you, either buy it or don't,
Right.
And there's a certain standpoint, I kind of get that attitude. I kind of get it is what it is. Ultimately that's what it comes down to. It is what it is. But why not ask for more? Why not? Why can't we? Why shouldn't we? Because one thing we know for a fact, these big companies, big corporations got there by shady means. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they get there we know Hasbro has gone through legal hoops to set it up so that they're the only 6-inch Marvel superheroes figures on the shelf in toy stores. Same with other lines that they do. We know that they are shutting out other companies from competing with them on the shelves. That's not for you and me. That's not for us. That's for them. So we know they're doing these things to make more money for them. Why shouldn't we be asking for things that we would like to see when we're paying our money? Why shouldn't we be making these demands and telling them, look, if you want to keep charging us $25, like, we should unionize. That's what it is. Toy collectors should unionize. We should say, why don't we start making our demands? And we kind of do. In a way, we kind of now that there's all these other like third party companies coming out and selling stuff, it's sort of forcing the bigger boys to like step up their game a little bit. Just I'll say this real briefly about Dragon Ball Z figures. There's so many really good third-party Dragon Ball Z figure companies right now. That's kind of it's almost kind of weird that it's specifically Dragon Ball Z that has so many. But uh they right. I think they're beating SH Figure Arts to the punch on a lot of these figures and kind of forcing SH Figure Arts to re-release like old releases, because they just re-released or announced a pre-order for a 2.0 body, because these other companies are putting out Gogeta, and SHF is like, hey, we got a Gogeta too, and it's a 2.0 body. Nobody wants that anymore. They've had 3 and they're now on 4.0. And so I see that as SHF reacting to all these third-party companies. And so I'm just saying, man, we need to get craftier with the way we as collectors go about enjoying our hobby to try and get more out of them, because 5 years from now, you're going to walk into a store, a Captain America, or let's say a Spider-Man figure is going to be $35 from Hasbro, and I almost said, and it's not going to have flipping hands or wall crawling hands. He's still going to have that one curly, web optic
Yeah,
with the handlebar on the end.
absolutely useless.
Right. And they're going to want $35, and there's still going to be people in the comments going, look, it is what it is. It's just buy it or don't. And I'm just saying, we deserve more, man. We used to get more out of toys.
Yeah.
Toys used to be super cool.
Back in my day.
Yeah. They used to come with a ton of stuff, and they were always up in the game. And it just seems like now, I don't know. Okay, we've kind of beat this topic to death. I guess I'll let it rest.
But you guys let us know in the comments down below where we're missing a mark, what you guys feel about this, what you think, and maybe we'll revisit it in the future. But we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to do love it or hate it real quick, and then we're going to let you guys go. And we're back. We're going to wrap up this podcast with our love it and hate it. And do you have yours? You need some more time to think about it? You want me to go first?
I'm good. Right now, one thing I'm loving that I haven't mentioned yet is I don't even have any Hiya toys currently. I've had a couple, but Hiya, Hiya, Hiya Toys has a lot of good Godzilla figures out now, and they've announced others coming out. I've played around with a couple, and the articulation is great. It's better than SH Monster Arts. The feel in hands is better than SH Monster Arts, in my opinion. May not be for everybody, but they just feel better handling them, and they are around half the price or better than SH Monster Arts. And so I used to be a big SH Monster Arts stan. I had a ton of Godzilla, Kaiju, SH Monster Arts figures, and I had to sell off a bunch to make this bill a while back, and it hurt. I hated having to sell them, because I was like, I'm never going to be able to buy these back for what I paid,
Right.
But I'm looking at Hiya now, and I really dig. I mean, their quality is. I started to say dig, not something else. I really dig what they're putting out. Their quality looks and feels similar or better than, to me, SH Monster Arts, and it's cheaper. And so I have the 1991 Godzilla on pre-order, and it was like $50, something like that, 55 maybe. And if I were to buy that same version of Godzilla from SH Monster Arts, brand new, it's going to be $100, but you probably can't get one brand new. You got to go to eBay, and it's going to be 150 or whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna pay triple for sure.
And it doesn't, and they don't have the articulation. Hiya is killing it with the articulation on these guys. So
Yeah, I've seen some of the pose videos people have,
yeah,
and it's kind of ridiculous what some of these people can get the Godzilla figures to do.
yeah. Like you said earlier, stuff I don't need a Godzilla to do it, but if there's a figure out there that can do it, I want it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
So that's what I'm loving. and I guess I'll go with from what I'm hating right now is just Hasbro in particular, their seeming plan to just overload us with multiple versions of these characters and never giving us a definitive character. And so you end up buying all these different ones and you're like, maybe I can piece together a definitive version, but then the colors are slightly off. The Captain America blue is a little lighter with this one, a little darker with that one, so you can't combine the heads and the hand things in.
Actually,
Yeah,
fit in
yeah.
together. Yeah.
And so they're them and McFarlane are masters of giving us 75% of what you want and giving it to you 10 times and never giving you what they know you're after. The one thing, the brand new day Spider-Man suit. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
they finally have knocked Spider-Man's look out of the park with brand new day, and it only took them 24 years of making Spider-Man movies to do it.
Well, if you make a product that's too perfect, then people don't need to buy another one.
Right.
And that's the,
Yeah.
that was the early lesson that Crocs had to learn. I don't know if you know the story, but
But I get it.
Crocs made such a perfect product that never deteriorated. It never fell apart. It never stained, molded, or mildewed. It never held a smell. And they only had a certain number of colors. And they realized that people never threw them away. They never needed to buy another pair. So they then had to change their entire business model for what they sold to now say the whole point of them is to have multiple colors and customization, because they made such a great product that people didn't need to buy another one.
I have one pair of Crocs. I've had them for 15 years.
And they'll never tear up,
Yeah.
and they're never going to smell, and they're never going to, right, exactly. And so they had to figure out a way. They're like, oh, shoot. We made too good of a product. Yeah. All right. So my love it is definitely going to have to be not only Mythic Legions, but also Legions Con, as I'm getting literally ready in 48 hours to get on a plane and fly to New Jersey.
Ooh, 48 hours. That's
Man, yeah. By this time on Friday, I will be on my way to Jacksonville to the airport with my wife, and we'll be getting ready to get on the plane and fly to New Jersey and go to Legions Con this weekend. And it's, if you've never been, it's a toy show unlike any other in the world. It's more of a family reunion. It's friends coming together and just buying a lot of figures, but it's always about the people. But yeah, it is. It's almost like Christmas in a way. It's like knowing that I'm about to go there and buy a whole bunch of stuff. And I'm all about that right now.
That's exciting. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, it is exciting. And then what I'm hating right now is something that came up recently in our local chat group, and that's just price inconsistency. A case in point was a friend of ours was looking for the G.I. Joe Classified series, Ghost Viper and Dire weapons set and all the animals. And that set is $60 at Walmart. And then right next to it on the shelf is the G.I. Joe Classified Series Deluxe Law and Order. That's $45. And both are a singular figure that come with one dog, four-legged wolf, wolf or creature, dog, whatever, and then a bunch of accessories. The Viper, that's $60, comes with 18 total accessories. That's including the figure, the wolf, and then every other thing. It comes with the figure, the wolf, and 16 accessories. Law and Order comes with the figure and the wolf and 14 accessories. So we're not talking apples and oranges here. We're literally talking apples and apples. And it's $45 versus $60. And I can't figure out why. Is translucent plastic, does that cost more? It can't be that there's more paint hits on the translucent animals, because there's barely paint hits on the painted animals. So I don't know. I do not understand it can't be scarcity, because neither one of them is exclusive to Walmart. I don't believe, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the Ghost Viper is a Walmart exclusive. I don't know. I don't remember. Maybe that's part of it. I honestly don't know, but just price disparity. There's no price consistency. There's no obvious reason why this thing is $15 more than this other thing, right? There's just zero reason for that. And if you start trying to make it make sense, it only makes less sense.
Yeah.
They have a character called Budo, who is a samurai, right? He is $40. All right. So you start thinking, well, what makes him? He comes with a lot of gear, a lot of accessories. So what makes him $5 cheaper than Law and Order? Well, it has to be the dog, right? So now Hasbro has now said, well, that dog costs $5 because that's the difference between Budo and Law and Order. Well, okay, well, why is this one $15 more then? So explain that to me.
Yeah.
But they don't. There is no explanation of why these things cost different things. I honestly don't know. It is just, it blows my mind, and it makes collecting so much harder because I would love to get an extra Budo, but I'm not going to pay another $40 because you can make 2 complete looks for this figure, but I would have to buy 2, right? And then like I would love another Ghost Viper and Dire set, but geez, at $60, are you kidding me? Like I can buy 2 G.I. Joe regular releases for that price.
I was looking at that Dire Viper set. Yeah, if it was $45, I would have picked one up. But
And you're not even a Joe collector. It's not cool.
I'm not much of a Joe collector. I have about 5 Joes. Yeah, for $60, I was like, pass. I can forget all about that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, price inconsistency. I can't get around it. You know, it's basically what we've been talking about this whole show. But thank you guys for tuning in and listening. We really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys can find us on whatever platform you like to listen to your podcast on now that Jeff, our unofficial third-party producer, is getting our stuff out there. We're going to try to get this show listed and posted probably tomorrow because I'm going to be gone for a week. So if we don't, then it'll be 2 weeks for this episode goes up, and nobody wants that. So, Scott, thanks for bringing all the figures over. Thanks for another great conversation, another great podcast, dude. I appreciate it. And like I've always said, I won't do it without you.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you. And like I always say, I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
All right. Yeah. Give me 14 of those right now. So thank you guys for tuning in and watching. We super appreciate it. Be sure to check us out at Across the Toyverse on Instagram and like and vote in our pose-offs that we post every week. Right now, we've got Cap versus Cap coming up. Next week, it looks like we may be heading back to the arena with Street Fighter. So we'll see you next time.